Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. Now, when Kemi gave her speech, at the end of the Tory Party conference, not the actual end, but towards the end, they always have a few after party sort of events and things go on. It sort of dragged on to about Thursday, and then they all went home bored. But it's generally accepted that her speech was certainly better than Starmer's. But the announcement about dropping the stamp duty or SDLT, stamp duty land tax in full, on house purchases was greeted very enthusiastically. From a lot of people, not just at the conference, a lot of people in the industry said, "That's a marvellous idea, brilliant idea," right? The usual sort of clucking noises that these people make. And it's said that the mood of the conference lightened. They think she had a very good speech. She'd won the room. She'd won the changing room, to use the football manager's parlance. But it's still a long way from victory in the war, and that, I'm afraid, is still probably unwinnable, certainly by Kemi. But it has improved, and in general, they're kind of seeing what they're calling meat on the bone. She's given them something to gnaw on, looks like meat's back on the menu, boys. And if you know where that comes from, good on you. But they said it's the best leader's speech they've seen in several years. Where was this in the last year, etc., etc. Has she done enough to save her bacon? Possibly. Not for long, but for now. I think May will be still the big trial and tribulation. I think May is where she will be judged harshly. However, this pulling the rabbit out of the hat in terms of the stamp duty, I would urge caution, dear friends. It raises billions a year. That money's got to come from somewhere, hasn't it? And the rumour is, and you couldn't make this up, that they're going to steal a Labour policy. Because getting rid of stamp duty, which will help move the construction industry, and that's a good thing. I'm not saying that because I've 35 years in the construction industry. I'm saying that because construction is the building bones of the economy. But that money has to be raised, and the rumour is that it's going to be raised through wealth tax. Yep, in order to pay for people buying houses and not paying the stamp duty, everyone who owns a house will have to pay a tax based on the value of that house. A wealth tax based on your assets, not your income. So you might have some little old lady who's got a nice big expensive house that she and her husband bought in the 1930s. Well, probably not now, given the age. In the 1950s. Boomers, right? Could have bought that house, absolutely fine. It's worth a lot of money now. But she's only getting by on a little pension. The house is all bought and paid for, but, I've only got my state pension. Yeah. And yet she's going to be slapped with a huge tax bill for this house. And here's the thing. You could have a 2-up, 2-down Victorian terrace or a mews house in central London, and it would be worth 5 times as much as a 4-bed detached property in a village in Shropshire, say. So where do you draw the line on value? Yes, it's a tiny house. Look, here's my little 2-up, 2-down Victorian terrace. And you want me to pay £20,000 in tax on it? I don't think so. It's madness, isn't it? It should be done on income, not wealth. Wealth is not a good measure. And someone could actually have a very high income and yet have no wealth whatsoever. It's these things. It's the usage of words that they think sound good, but when you get down to the meat of it, there's very little thought going in behind it, and they don't understand, I think, what they're saying. You tell me how a little old lady in a big house is going to pay a wealth tax, whereas, some guy earning $1 million a year, but living in a very small house because he doesn't need anything. I mean, here's the thing people don't realise. Elon Musk, world's richest man. He lives in a tiny little micro pod house. Doesn't live in a mansion. He said don't need it. He lives in a little podule. Yeah. I mean, he wouldn't be paying any wealth tax according to the government. It's a weird system, and it's mad and it's wrong. If you want to pull that rabbit out of the hat, as I say, and go no stamp duty, fine. Pay for it by having cuts. Foreign aid would be my first choice. Get rid of the foreign aid budget. Bada bing. Let me know what you think. Thanks very much. Bye.